Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, we are here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So welcome back to Reality TV Podcast and Clips. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's get into it on 3, 2, 1.
Let's jump straight into the absolute media blitz Lisa Rinna is orchestrating right now.
Oh, she is absolutely everywhere.
Literally everywhere. But we really have to start with her recent appearance on Watch What Happens Live. She and Andy Cohen finally sat down to make amends after their massive fallout.
Right, and they didn't waste any time. They addressed the elephant in the room immediately.
Yeah, she admitted to literally throwing his memoir, The Daddy Diaries, straight into her fireplace.
Which is just a stunning visual to hand a television executive, right to his face.
She told him it burned easily and that it was, quote, beautiful to watch.
Yeah, but what really warrants a closer look is Andy's reaction. Instead of getting defensive, he offered her a public apology. He apologized for leaking her text messages in that same book during the Traders reunion.
Which is huge.
It is. If you follow how this industry operates, you know that public mea culpas from network executives are incredibly rare. And then he went out of his way to list the times she showed up for him in real life.
Right, like getting the housewives dancing on the tables at his baby shower.
Exactly. And he thanked her for speaking at his Hollywood Walk of Fame dedication alongside Garcelle Beauvais and John Mayer.
And she did that unprompted, right after losing her mother. So that distinction between the television persona and her real-life loyalty is exactly what she leaned into next.
Yes.
She tried to explain her explosive behavior on the show by claiming she was never faking it, but rather playing a characterization or a caricature of herself as a housewife.
What's fascinating here is how these stars rationalize their behavior to the public and honestly to themselves.
Yeah, she's essentially arguing that the woman we saw throwing glasses was just an inflated avatar.
Right, because think about the psychological toll of taking the loudest, most reactive parts of your personality and turning the volume all the way up for months at a time. It becomes a survival mechanism to generate storylines.
It really does.
But over 8 seasons, that caricature can completely overtake the actual person. The line blurs so heavily that even the audience cannot tell where the performance ends and the genuine human being begins.
And that blurry line extends to the Hollywood circle she runs into. She casually clarified a rumor about her daughters, Delilah and Amelia. She confirmed that Tobey Maguire actually did reach out to them.
But made sure to shoot down the rumor that Leonardo DiCaprio had done the same.
Exactly. It's this subtle flex to remind you of the orbit she exists in. But if you want to understand the true cost of staying in that orbit, we need to look at this staggering financial confession in her new book. You better believe I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, this was eye-opening.
She revealed she almost faced bankruptcy during her time on the show because she was spending her entire life savings just to look good on camera.
Which exposes the unspoken arms race of glamour that viewers rarely consider. You are watching women compete in an arena where wealth is the primary currency.
The wardrobe, the glam squads,
the lifestyle maintenance, it turns into a financial black hole. If you are a cast member trying to keep up with women who have vastly different, sometimes generational financial realities, the pressure to maintain that illusion can completely destabilize your actual life.
Picture draining your actual savings account just to afford the optics of being rich. But, the book isn't just about her bank accounts. She took some massive swings at her former co-stars.
She certainly did.
She went completely out of her way to body shame Sutton Stracke. She called her frumpy with a weird body and claimed she has no sex appeal.
And the audience instantly rejected it. When you put a statement like that out into the world, the court of public opinion is going to hold up a mirror to your own life.
Because of her daughter?
Exactly. Rinna's daughter, Amelia Gray Hamlin, has been incredibly vulnerable and public about her severe struggles with an eating disorder. The hypocrisy of a mother who has watched her own child suffer through body image trauma, turning around and attacking another woman's physical body in print, struck a deeply negative nerve with the fan base.
It completely backfired. But the book also contains a genuinely terrifying, real-world incident that shifts the conversation entirely. She claims she was drugged at the Traders' premiere party at the Abbey in West Hollywood.
Yeah, this is serious.
She was acting noticeably inebriated, which prompted Colton Underwood to flag down her team. Harry Hamlin ended up rushing her out of the venue. She got tested afterward and was positive for fentanyl and high levels of amphetamines.
That is terrifying.
And most alarmingly, she stated that this is not an isolated incident at that specific venue. It's a known issue that has even happened to her daughter's friends.
When a high-profile figure uses their platform to name a specific location and allege a pattern of druggings, it forces a necessary conversation about accountability in nightlife spaces. It removes the glossy filter of reality television and drops us right into a very dangerous public safety issue. You have to wonder how many people without high-profile security teams have fallen victim to that same environment.
And speaking of security teams, she paints a picture of needing security long before reality cameras were ever involved.
Right, going back to her soap opera days.
Yeah, she specifically called out Robert Kelker Kelly, who played Bo Brady on Days of Our Lives, as the biggest bully in Hollywood. She claims he was so verbally abusive and manipulative that NBC had to hire rent-a-cops to protect her and Christian Alfonso. They literally had security parked outside their houses just to feel safe going to work.
Which adds a crucial layer of context to the Rinna we see today. If you have endured that level of workplace hostility and required physical protection just to do your job in your early career, you are going to build an impenetrable armor. That history might explain why she defaults to playing a caricature who strikes first. It's a deeply ingrained defense mechanism.
Let's bring that idea of financial pressure and defensive behavior into the current season. Because the cast trip to the Hamptons was a masterclass in tension.
Oh, it really was.
We watched Dorit Kemsley go on a massive shopping spree. She racks up $4,589.50 at a boutique.
A casual afternoon in the Hamptons.
Right. But when she went to pay, her credit card was declined on camera. She immediately blamed it on out-of-state fraud protection. But if you know what is happening in her personal life, the optics of that moment are incredibly heavy.
The optics are undeniable. And Kyle Richards' reaction to Dorit's behavior during that trip was incredibly telling. Kyle described Dorit as scattered, manic, and OCD.
Yeah, tossing around clinical terms.
Which is always a risky move. Throwing around terms like OCD to describe erratic behavior is why Bozoma St. John stepped in with a crucial warning. Boz pointed out that Dorit is staring down the barrel of a divorce.
And all the immense, terrifying financial burdens that accompany it.
Exactly. Boz cautioned Kyle that Dorit isn't just acting out for the cameras. She is likely operating from a place of sheer financial panic.
And that financial panic seems to be fracturing the group dynamic. Kyle recently jumped on an Amazon Live Q&A and gave fans a real-time update. She admitted her relationship with Dorit right now is, quote, not great.
Not surprising.
Fans also pressed Kyle on why Dorit, Boz, and Rachel Zoe are being so relentless toward the newbie, Amanda Francis. Questioning her business, digging into her past, Kyle defended herself, saying she actively chose to give Amanda the benefit of the doubt.
And with Kyle casually dropping that the season 15 reunion films in just a month, all of this anxiety is about to collide on the couches.
It is going to be explosive.
Because it is a season defined by profound, life-altering transitions. If you look at the other major storylines happening concurrently, it's staggering. You have Sutton Strack making the permanent decision to drop the Strack name and become Sutton Brown.
And the reason why is heartbreaking.
She made that choice because her own son had to be the one to tell her that her ex-husband, Christian, is now dating her former friend.
Imagine the double betrayal of that. Your ex-husband and a former friend, and you find out through your child.
It is devastating. Then you have Erica Jane, who is allowing cameras into her therapy sessions while she navigates a $10 million tax bill left behind by Tom. She described her mental state as just treading water in survival mode while also processing past abuse.
Meanwhile, Rachel Zoe is publicly dealing with the fallout of her ex, Roger, confessing to an affair a year ago.
And Bozoma is sharing the intense anxiety of her and her partner Keely's fertility journey, confronting the terrifying question of what happens if it doesn't work.
Every single woman on that cast is fighting a silent or not-so-silent battle. But the struggles don't stop when the cameras go down. In fact, some of the off-screen realities these stars are facing right now make the on-screen drama look trivial.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows the stark contrast between manufactured reality TV drama and actual real-life hardship.
Let's talk about Denise Richards. She is locked in a brutal legal battle with her ex, Aaron Fipers, and the court just handed down a devastating financial order. Denise has to pay him $5,000 a month in temporary spousal support.
Wow.
Plus, cover $25,000 for his attorney fees and pay another $5,000 for a forensic accountant.
For a system to mandate those kinds of payouts, especially considering the allegations of physical abuse she has levied against him, is a massive blow. But the financial uncoupling is often just the surface layer of a much deeper toxicity in public divorces.
Right, and the toxicity reached a boiling point because of Aaron's mother. She started a GoFundMe campaign to raise money for him. And in the description, she actually brought Denise's youngest daughter into the narrative.
Which is crossing a massive line.
Denise was understandably outraged. It is one thing to fight over money and forensic accountants, but weaponizing the public and dragging a child into a plea for internet donations crosses every conceivable boundary.
It is a profound violation. When family members start crowdsourcing sympathy by invoking the names of children, it strips away any remaining dignity from the legal process. It proves that the conflict has metastasized far beyond the courtroom.
And sadly, the Bravo universe is also grappling with a tragedy that puts all of these legal and financial fights into incredibly sharp perspective. Mary Cosby recently suffered the unimaginable loss of her 23-year-old son, Robert Jr.
Such a heartbreaking situation.
The 911 dispatch audio revealed that he was given Narcan prior to the police arriving, suffered a full arrest, and was tragically pronounced dead at the scene.
It is a devastating reality check. Anyone who has followed Mary's journey knows she has been open about her son's struggles with substance issues in the past. Addiction is a relentless disease that shatters families completely regardless of television fame or financial status. It is a profound tragedy that cannot be edited or spun for a storyline.
No, it can't. And when you see the entire network drop their petty feuds to support a grieving mother, it really shifts your perspective. Housewives from across the franchises reached out.
Heather Gay, Whitney Rose,
Lisa Barlow, Kyle Richards, Mia Thornton, Dolores Catania, and Alexia Napola all immediately reached out publicly with support. In that moment, the caricatures completely drop, and they rally around each other as human beings.
Because the stakes in these real-life moments are literal life and death, which makes navigating the hyper-public, calculated relationships on shows like Southern Charm and Summer House feel like a completely different psychological game.
The contrast is jarring, but it highlights how the machinery of reality television requires constant interpersonal conflict to keep running. When the life and death stakes aren't present, the pressure shifts entirely to manufacturing relationship drama, which brings us perfectly to the latest fallout between Sally Carson and Craig Conover.
This was quite the revelation.
Sally is officially pulling back the curtain on Craig's on-camera antics. She explicitly called him calculated, claiming that he only reaches out to patch things up with people when the cameras are about to go up for a new season or when a reunion is looming.
Calling a reality star calculated is the ultimate indictment. It shatters the fourth wall. It suggests to the audience that the emotional resolutions they are watching aren't based on genuine human growth, but on a strategic filming schedule.
Sally did clarify that Craig didn't romantically lead her on, but she admitted they spent late nights hanging out at his house, so the lines were inherently blurry. But the most revealing dynamic she discussed was her relationship with Austin Kroll. She confirmed that they did, quote, more than kiss. But they are actively refusing to pull the trigger on officially dating.
And the reason is fascinating.
They don't want to mess up their strong friendship. She knows that if he gets a girlfriend, he won't be around as much, but they are terrified to cross that line and lose what they have.
It is the ultimate reality television conundrum. You have a genuine, comfortable friendship, but the environment practically demands that you monetize it and turn it into a storyline for the viewers. Navigating real romantic feelings is hard enough, but doing it while knowing millions of people are waiting to judge the outcome makes every decision incredibly fraught. They are trying to protect a private connection in an industry designed to exploit it.
And if we are talking about protecting your peace in this industry, we have to look at the masterclass Paige DeSorbo just delivered on her Giggly Squad podcast.
Oh, she completely rewrote the playbook.
She essentially laid down the modern rulebook on how to handle a toxic ex. She went off about an unnamed ex-boyfriend, calling him freaking crazy. But instead of doing what every other reality star does, dragging him through the mud, posting screenshots, and going to war, she is choosing absolute silence.
Her strategy is brilliant from both a psychological and a public relations standpoint. She explicitly stated she could easily bring the receipts and prove to the court of public opinion exactly how awful he is, but she refuses to give him the oxygen.
Because of search engine optimization.
Exactly. She never wants her name tied to his in an internet search ever again. She refuses to be in the same headline.
Think about how powerful that is. She pointed out that blocking people and maintaining total silence eats them up way more than acknowledging them. By not validating their existence, you take away all their power and their clout.
And this philosophy has led her to a massive new personal boundary. She vows to never post a man on social media ever again.
Even though we know she is currently dating Joe D'Amelio, she's keeping him entirely off her grid.
It is a radical departure from the typical reality TV behavior, where every milestone of a relationship is monetized for content and engagement. Paige broke down her theory on men, categorizing them into two distinct types: those who want to be posted so they can look cool and get public praise, versus those who only care if their partner thinks they are cool.
By keeping her relationship offline, she is filtering out the men who are just seeking proximity to her fame. She is choosing to protect her real life rather than feed her digital one.
It's a very smart way to navigate an industry that demands you share everything.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today. From Lisa Rinna throwing Andy's memoir into the fire and revealing how the arms race of glamour nearly bankrupted her, to Dorate's credit card declining in the Hamptons while she faces devastating financial anxiety.
We've looked at the heartbreaking real-world tragedies and court battles these women are surviving off camera.
All the way to Paige DeSorbo deciding to hide her authentic life just to protect it from the public eye.
This raises an important question. When stars like Lisa Rinna openly admit to becoming inflated caricatures of themselves to survive the show, and stars like Paige DeSorbo vow to hide their real, authentic relationships from the internet entirely just to protect their peace, are we as viewers actually watching reality anymore? Or have the intense pressures, the massive financial stakes, and the unforgiving court of public opinion forced these stars to completely sever the characters they play on screen from the human beings they actually are in private?
That is exactly what you need to be asking yourself as you watch these shows. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep your eyes open to the complex reality hiding right behind your favorite reality television, and we'll catch you next time.